Welcome back to Lost Odyssey. So, yeah, that happened. Alright, so let's regroup and try to figure out what exactly can be done. And then go
And look at that! Like I said, the village is better now.
Yep. Well, without experimental staff fucking things up, yep.
That feeling when science was apparently causing evil spirits to possess people.
It's not science, Drova, it's magitech, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro?
I'm sorry, she finally sank. Alas, we knew her well.
I think we pushed it too far. You think? But it managed to get us all the way over to the port. We owe one thing to the poor thing, that's for sure.
Let's have a moment of silence for SS boats.
Yes.
Welcome back. That was some lightning, wasn't it? Everyone was worried about you.
I was going to just say, are the children all right?
Won't someone think of the children?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Me too.
Teo, go ahead.
Well, good. Don't injure yourself like that anymore. You made it through some bumpy water, so why don't you take it easy in town this evening?
Thank you. We'd love to. Right, Kaim?
Kaim, happy
yes.
happy wife, happy
good.
life.
God damn it. What was that quote from Face Alphabet? Travolta says it towards the end. This is starting to sound like real marriage.
But this kind of puts it in balance. We lost the only ship left in town. Guess we can forget about going to Gotza anytime soon.
Oh, right. We were originally going to do that, weren't we? Come to think of it, you were traveling to Gotza, weren't you?
We kind of had a bit of a detour, yeah.
Well, I have some good news for you. That lightning melted the glacier blocking the road to Gotza.
How convenient.
Yay!
Climate change for the win! You still gotta go through the ice canyon, but at least you can reach Gotza on foot now.
Remember, in Professor Layton and the Azron Legacy, we literally deviate to the course of a waterfall just so we don't get wet while passing through.
I can imagine now those fake, terrible YouTube videos with the tagline.
Who's the real monster?
No. What's the guy's last name? The guy who made this game, or who wrote it?
Sakaguchi.
Hironobu Sakaguchi says climate change is a good thing.
Nuanced, Wibs, nuanced. But anyway,
Again,
we probably shouldn't pass ourselves any further today. Let's go back to town and rest.
Okay, Jeff, that's the point. Those YouTube videos have taglines like that, where apparently nuance doesn't exist.
Yeah, obviously. What are you talking about, Dwebs? I was under the impression that the world only worked in blacks and whites. What is this shades of grey concept you speak of?
Also, I will say this, while definitely it's okay for the town to actually be, in a better state, we kind of lose the cool factor of the night glow.
Mm-hmm. What's this?
It's to show that now that the night has passed, we could. Well, it's like they say, things are darkest
Again,
before the dawn.
Castlevania 2 logic. The morning sun has vanquished the horrible night.
So, what's up?
Nothing. Just kind of tired.
Well, that is true. We have been going for a while.
Me too.
I can't blame them. They've been through a lot. Let's get some rest today.
Sure hope we don't have any more traumatic dreams, eh, Kaim?
So what's really going on? Gondora called you guys the real traitors. Care to elaborate?
He's lying.
He's lying, obviously.
Yeah.
Robbed us of our memories.
I remember we haven't gained all of them just yet. So.
Still don't remember what
our
mission was in coming to this world.
Blow it up.
Sarah, was there anything about this in your journals?
No, not about our mission. There was something about where we came from, however. We came from a pure, untarnished world. Two different worlds on a shared axis converged, which caused disturbances in our home world.
And then we came to this world and were adopted by a loving mother who then became evil and we have to fight in
There
the
you
far
go.
future.
The mortals, Jova, are not living beings, but spirits that inhabited these bodies.
Yep.
Interesting. So, for all we know, these bodies that they're inhabiting may have been people themselves, or are these forms that they designed for themselves?
If the record of 1,000 years shows that I am really a traitor, then I'll have to accept that and pay the price.
Kaim, I appreciate your honor, but we don't have time for this.
The truth is that I've caused the deaths I've seen. Then I'll have to pay
So,
the price.
again, like I ask, is this a case where the bodies they're inhabiting were once people themselves, or did they, like,
We don't know because, it is been that very long of a time.
So
Yep.
that's why we're going to Goatsa. Oh, and why Ming's gonna use her charm when
That being said, considering it's labeled as kind of an accident, it's easy
Well,
potentially to assume that we might have been victims.
The only person, Jova, that can properly explain all this to us is Gongora, and you know how reliable he is in terms of telling us the truth. So
It would be interesting if the twist is that along for the ride are these normal people who they merged
No,
with.
Jova, in case you're wondering, no, we're not pulling a Wonder Woman 84 with this. For all intents and purposes, these beings are still one, and the same, and there are no original souls of original bodies, that might be in contrast. I think that it's gonna be explained later, but it's relatively irrelevant now. The entire reason why the immortals are immortals is because of the spirits. They influence the biology of these bodies, and so they cannot really age that much, and they can regenerate wounds, making them immortal.
I must get
Okay, then.
Sorry. Okay.
I must get my memory back.
Indeed. Making a face like that is going to give you wrinkles,
Takes more muscles to frown than to smile,
I
Kaim.
can't believe Jensen's literally told to Kaim, you should smile more.
That and Anira. We were best friends. Oh, we were family. It's all about family, Dom.
So yeah, that's the main reason why the game, unlike most, that's why the main reason why Seth's dreams are actually appear in the cutscenes in the story instead of just being found optionally like Kaim's dreams is because Seth's
They're plot critical.
They're plot critical. So
Can you even imagine if we're gone with the Java's exclusive novel treatment? We probably would have got all these plot. Again, a new player would have gone all with plot elements without really knowing what's going on.
that's the thing.
To give them the benefit of a doubt, I assume they would have adapted it enough so that it's not confusing, but yeah, definitely would have lost it too late.
And especially because remember, Final Fantasy VIII does have some elements that are only explained in novels. So even back when Sakaguchi was still in charge of Final Fantasy, even back then even he signed off on that practice. So
I don't remember 8 having novels.
Well, you told me in our playthrough that the reason that the whole thing that the sorceress gives her speech and why the crowd is cheering for her killing the president is because
that's mentioned in stuff like the Ultimania guides with includes developer interviews.
Well, regardless, same principle. It's explained outside the game.
Oh no, that I get, but it has different properties. A novel is basically just still telling a story. Another is literally just asking the developer an information about a plot point.
Even still, like, it's just one of those things. It's like, I'm glad that the fucking dreams are actually included in the fucking game because, if they took out the dreams and put in and forced it to buy a novel, it would be a gigantic crippling of this game's story. Like, this game's story would lose at least 70% of its substance. And
I
it's
think
just
I said this in the past, but I wouldn't have minded if by doing so they have done it as it's collected in a book that is included with the actual game, as in it's a companion piece that you cannot actually miss while getting the game.
Well, here's the thing, Teo. That works if you buy the physical edition, but what if you're just getting this digitally on the Xbox Series
digital
console?
copy as a PDF. They do that with the manuals.
I guess.
That's true. I mean, granted, that does assume that they remember to include a PDF. There
I still don't. Sorry.
Sadly, some games that don't do that, despite the fact that they should.
I still don't really like the practice of having to pause the game and stop to read a book for an hour. Like I just don't like that. It feels like I'm doing homework so I can understand the game, and I just don't like that.
I will say this. Essentials of a game that are like, plot crucial or needed to understand like a very important deal, those should actually be in the game themselves. Now, mind you, if it's something more minor, like say, oh, why didn't the heroes like hop over a hole instead of jumping down or some minor stuff like that? Sure, fine. Explain that in a novel because it's something the audience can probably infer, and the novel will more or less just, confirm whether that was the case. But only with like the most minor of, why was it this or that, like that way? Like,
also, I don't remember asking you, but apologies if I did already, Pedro, but have you played yet Tunic?
My brother has, not me.
So I get the idea you still have a general idea. It's basically an indie game. You remember we talked about it during one of the Game Awards stuff.
It's a Zelda-esque game, I get it.
Part of the thing is that part of the game experience is you literally constructing the in-game manual and using that. Basically, in itself is a puzzle in itself to decipher elements in-game. There is a double layer level of interpreting the game. But hold on, again, we're getting another.
Oh, but I can answer quickly though. But that's different though.
I was, but because it was connected to something I was going to say, but I'll save it later.
Sure.
Anyway, seeing this random shopkeeper reminds me of a flashback.
Will it be a happy one, a sad one, or a that happened one?
Let's see.
Maybe all three at the same time.
Alright, so today we're doing
Desert. Leaves his favorite.
Bright Rain.
Oh, for a moment I thought we were going to go into how fairy lives matter with that name.
The Bright Rain is going to start soon, the boy says, pointing out to sea.
The Bright Rain?
Kaim asks him. It happens every night. Way out there, he says with a carefree smile. It's so pretty.
Bright Rain, huh?
Yeah, I want you to watch it with me tonight. It's really pretty. The boy has never once left the island in the 10 years since his birth. The island is as small as poor, and the only ways to make a living there are fishing from dugout boats and gathering forest fruits. One monotonous day follows another. The islanders waking at dawn and sleeping beneath the star-filled sky. The boy does not yet realize that this is the greatest happiness of all.
Sora, what are you doing here?
He's been having these strange thoughts lately too. The boy begins.
Line the pieces up. Yours and
the boy begins speaking to Kaim, who turns to look in his direction. Hunkered down on the beach in the moonlight, the boy in profile glows like a chocolate sculpture. Over there, where the Bright Rain falls, is a great big island, right? I know all about it. That island is way bigger than this one, and way more stuff goes on there, and it's just full of shiny things and pretty things and food that's way better than I can even imagine, right? Don't worry, I know all about it. Kaim says nothing, but gives the boy a pained smile. Beyond the horizon lies a big island indeed, a vast continent. Kaim was there until 4 days ago. Then, rocked in the hold of a freighter for 3 days and nights, he crossed the sea to this island.
It's the classic. It's another.
Islands.
Yeah, it seems to be a classic tale of you never know what is outside until you know it. I know about it. Sorry, it's you, Pedro.
I know about it, but I've never seen it, the boy says, his voice dropping. He hangs his head, diverting the moonlight from his face. His chocolate skin melts into the darkness.
Would you like to go there?
Sure, I would. The boy so positive. See, remember, his voice dropped right now. All the kids here want to. Everybody leaves the island, I suppose.
Everybody leaves the island.
Sorry.
No,
sure, they do. Boys and girls both. As soon as they're old enough to work, they go to the other country. Me too in another 5 years. I'll be ready in 3 years. Then I'll take the boat and you came here on and go to the other country and work hard and eat tons of yummy things. The boy raises his face again. Locked on the ocean, his eyes are shining. They are eyes full of hopes and dreams. Which means they're about to get crushed.
Of course. Trying to teach them kids a lesson.
But he knows nothing of the other country. He can never know a thing about it as long as he stays here. Not one of the young people who crossed the sea, their eyes shining like the boys with hopes and dreams, ever came back.
It says something that for as depressing as these stories get, they still got nothing on Urobochi's usual stuff.
Of course not, the boy would say. The other country is so much more fun, there's no point in coming back. The boy believes in the happiness awaiting him in the other country, about which he knows nothing.
I think, okay, alone.
Only when they leave the island do the brown-skinned people here learn that their skin is a different color from that of the people in the other country. That the language of the island is of no use in the other country. That the people of the other country look on the islanders with cold eyes. That the only way for them to meet people with the same brown skin, the same language, and the same birthplace is to head for the island people's ghetto in town.
Ooh.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying, Tio?
I forgot.
The first words the boy was certain to learn in the other country's language would be the ones of the people the country used for people like him. Illegal alien. By the time he learned it, he would be tumbling down the hill into the ghetto.
Wow!
I was not expecting this game of all things to tell me about gentrification.
The boy gallops away from the beach and returns a few minutes later with an overflowing armload of fruit. He says that they grow where the wind from the ocean meets the wind from the mountains. They're at the best of the nights the moon is full. Go ahead, have a taste. He wipes a piece of fruit against his worn-out shirt and hands it to Kaim.
What do you call this?
Kaim asks. You're going to laugh. They pinned such a fancy name on it. Grain of Happiness.
That's a nice name.
Kaim bites into a grain of happiness. He is shaped like an apple in the other country, but it's some 2 sizes smaller and just that much more packed with juicy sweetness.
And it's got all the ecstasy you need to keep you happy. But yeah, no, I joked when I said, oh, this will be like Bright, which goes into fairy racism, but Jesus Christ, no, this is actually going into gentrification of all things.
This is great.
Kaim says. You really like it? I'm glad, the boy says with a smile, but he is soon hanging his head again and sighing. I like them a lot too, the boy says, but I bet the other country has all kinds of stuff that's way better than this, right? Kaim does not answer him, but takes another bite of a grain of happiness. The boy is right. There are lots of foods in the other country far more delicious than these grains of happiness. Or more precisely, there were. Now, however, the other country has been transformed into a battlefield. The war started 6 months ago. That was when the boy began seeing the bright rain every night.
God, the stars he thought he saw was actually ammunition from
I can tell that the guy writing the dream saw a grave of the fireflies.
He's having refuge in ignorance, the poor thing.
The prosperity of the other country is extreme. The most glittering happiness is available there to anyone with enough money, and money is available there without restriction to anyone with enough power. Might makes right. Wealth is goodness. Those who are neither mighty nor wealthy obtain right and goodness by finding others who are both weaker and poorer than themselves and ridiculing, despising, and persecuting them.
Sure would be a shame if they rolled into town.
Mm-hmm. The island people, whose language and skin color are different from those in the other country, are seen as the other country's shadow. This is not a shadow, however, that forms because there is light. The very existence of the shadow is what makes the light all the brighter. This is the only way that the inhabitants of the other country know how to think about things. Eventually, however, strength reaches a saturation point. Wealth that has run its course begins to stagnate, and expansion is the only course left open. Desires can only be fulfilled through a continual bloating.
Imperialism. Ain't it great, folks?
Yep.
Hey.
In order for the other country to remain strong and for the wealthy to stay wealthy, the leaders of the other country made war on their neighboring country.
War is
Could have maybe established trade relations, but nah, we'll just take the whole pie.
Any minute now, the boy says, looking out to sea again with a carefree laugh. The bright rain is going to fall, way out over the sea.
People are dying to that bright
don't worry,
rain.
child, those are the drone strikes.
I guess drone strikes could technically be a thing in this world.
The war was supposed to have ended quickly. Everyone in the other country believed that with overwhelming wealth and strength, it would be easy for them to bring the neighboring country to its knees. To be sure, at first the war went according to plan. The occupied areas grew each day, and the entire populace of the other country became drunk with victory.
Remember, Joe, that these are, do not have precise dates. So for all we know, it's the classic case of civilizations rise and fall constantly. So, like with Xenogears.
But then after another, however, the surrounding countries took the side of the neighboring country, which was only natural. If the neighboring country fell, they themselves might be the other country's next target. The other country's entire diplomatic strategy failed, which was only natural, for no country on Earth will make friends with a country that only knows how to flaunt its wealth and power. An allied force was organized around the neighboring country. Together, the surrounding countries sought to encircle and seal off the other country.
Again, Joe, it's kind of similar to what happened to the Zeboy civilization, minus the sterility problem that the humans had then. It seems that, again, mostly Deus Ex and stuff like this.
From that point on, the war entered a stalemate. Limited battle zones saw troops advancing and retreating again and again, in the course of which the other country's wealth and power was consumed little by little. Disgust for the war began to spread among the populace, and to obliterate that mood, the military circulated false propaganda. The military situation is developing in our favor. Our army has again crushed the enemy's troops.
Yeah, glorious leader and everything. Moving on. It seems
Lying
that
to the masses.
a lot of writers seem to have predicted correctly that, modern type of civilization and economy will eventually bloat and might lead to, global saturation.
The truth was that the occupied territories were being captured one after another, and the Allied forces now were crossing the border to strike inside the other country's territory. In response to a foolhardy attack by the enemy, our resolute fighting men launched a counterattack, annihilating their forces. The day for our victory song is upon us.
So basically, they fooled around and found out.
This really hits hard these days.
Stopping the war was out of the question. Admitting defeat was out of the question. The people had believed that wealth and power would enable them to rule everything, but now they knew the terror of having lost both.
So they were so used to winning that they weren't prepared for what would happen if, all these people you conquered might fight back.
The Allied forces were joined by a powerful supporter. A mighty empire that wielded authority over the northern part of the continent joined the battle as if to say, "Let us finish the job for you," crushing the other country once and for all. But the powerful empire was not satisfied just to destroy one upstart nation. It turned its overall military upon the Allied forces. As it had so many times in its history, it seized the opportunity of its clash with the surrounding countries in order to further expand its own power.
So it literally just took the entire pot.
It's like the whole thing in Mega Man Drova. You're not, free, just like under new management.
Pretty much.
Remember, having lost its leaders and been turned into a wasteland as far as the eye could see, the other country now became the new battlefield. Outnumbered, the Allied army hired mercenaries from another continent. Kaim was one of those. For many days he participated in a losing battle in which there was no way to tell which side was fighting for the right. After seeing his mercenary unit wiped out, Kaim headed for the arbor.
Yeah, that's
basically,
just get the
I
fuck
quit.
out of here.
Well, Pedro, but don't you remember what Dr. Light taught us? Sometimes peace can only be obtained when we destroy those, when some people are destroyed.
Yeah, and what happened, old fart? Everyone is dead in the future because of you.
The Bryce Island has maintained the position of neutrality in the war. It is simply too small to do otherwise. It lacks the war-making capacity to participate in battle, and it possesses no wealth to attract the attention of the countries engaged in the fighting. But Kaim knows what will happen. When the battle lines expand, this island will become valuable as a military foothold. One side or the other will occupy the island and will do one of two things. It will construct a base, or will reduce the entire island to ashes, thus preventing the enemy from using it as a military foothold. Nor is this a matter of the distant future. At the latest, it will happen a few weeks from now, and perhaps as soon as 2 or 3 days.
Oh boy.
So
might want to maybe warn the people to evacuate.
Yeah, get the idea Sora needs to get out of his island faster than his counterpart.
Kaim has come to the island to convey this message, to tell the people that as many of them as possible should board tomorrow morning's regular ferry to the nearby island. He wants them to start by sending away the children. He hopes never again to witness the spectacle of young lives being crushed like so many bugs. Maybe like fireflies? That's me. Oh look, there he goes, the boy cries out happily, pointing on toward the horizon. The bright rain! Far out to the sea, a white glow suffuses the night sky. The powerful empire has begun its night bombing. The boy has no idea what the bright rain really is. He can watch with sparkling eyes and murmur, "It's so pretty. So pretty." To be sure, viewed from afar, the bright rain is genuinely beautiful, like a million shooting stars crossing the sky all at once, but only when viewed from afar.
And also not knowing anything about war.
You gotta love the irony that this island outlasted that giant empire that hated them just for...
As mentioned, it was kind of insignificant until now.
A dull thud resounds from the sky. Another dull thud, and another, and another. Thunder? Oh no, if it rains we can't go out fishing tomorrow, the boy says with a smile and a shrug. He's such a friendly little fellow, thinks Kaim. The boy had seen him on the shore and spoken to him without hesitation. Are you a traveler? He had asked, and went on speaking to him like an old friend. Kaim wants children like this to be the first aboard tomorrow's ferry.
Also, yes, child, it's just thunder. Nothing more, and not the deaths of many vicious or innocents.
I'm going home now, says the boy. What are you going to do?
I guess I'll take a nap under the tree.
You can sleep in our barn. Why don't you spend the night there?
Thanks,
Kaim says.
But I want to watch the ocean a little longer. Tomorrow, though. I'd like to show you to show me around.
I get it. You want to see the head of the village. I know a shortcut for the woods. Right over there. Kaim is hoping to convince the village head to evacuate the island. If they act right away, they can make it. They can save a lot of the islanders. But as the boy stands, sweeping the sand from the sea of his pants, he looks questioningly at the sky. Funny, he says. It sounds kind of different from thunder. The dull thuds keep coming without a break. Little by little they draw closer. Kaim jerks his head up and yells at the boy.
The woods! Run to the woods!
What?
Hurry!
Oh, it came early.
His voice is drowned out by the deafening roar of machine guns. The bright rain has started. The island has been made a target far sooner than Kaim had imagined.
Hurry!
Kaim yells, grabbing the boy's hand. The woods are the boy's only hope. Hey, wait a minute, the boy shouts, shaking free of Kaim's grip and looking up at the sky. It's the bright rain. It's falling here now, too. Wow! Oh, wow! All but dancing for joy, the boy gallops down the beach until he is bathed from head to toe in the bright rain.
Oh.
Well, I guess he died happy? In bliss.
This is not the dark ending to Kingdom Hearts I was hoping for.
Jesus.
A single night of bombing is all it takes to reduce the island to ashes. Never realizing the value of the happiness they possessed, never even knowing that such happiness had been snatched away from them in one night's passing, the people who filled the island with their lives until evening are gone in the morning. All dead, except for one, the immortal Kaim. On the beach at dawn, the only sound is that of the waves. Again today, no doubt, urban warfare will decimate the city streets, and tonight the bright rain will pour down on the town again. The boy who called the rain beautiful will never again open his eyes wide with wonder.
How did looking at a shop merchant remind you of this, Kaim?
Because he noticed because of the fruit and the fruits.
Yeah, the grape of...
the grape of happiness, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kaim lays the boy's corpse in a small dugout canoe that survived the flames. He places a ripe grain of happiness on the boy's chest and folds his arms over it, hoping that it will shake his first on the long road to heaven. He sets the dugout in the water and nudges it toward the open sea. Caught by the receding tide, rocked by the waves, the boat glides far out from the shore. Such a friendly little fellow, the boy smiles even in death. Perhaps it is the one gift the gods were able to bestow on him.
I'm amazed there was anything left of that boy to send off to sea. Given that he was bathed in fire.
Well, it's not described if it's a bomb, phosphorus, or something else.
The boy is setting out on a journey. May it never take him to that country, Kaim begs. Or any country for that matter. Kaim knows. There is no place forever free of that bright rain. Because he knows this, he sheds tears for the boy. The rain falls in his heart. Cold, sad, silent rain. Emptied of bombs, the sky is maddeningly blue, wide, and beautiful. The end.
Was the boy the only one whose body was intact that he could send off to sea?
Maybe.
If so, again, I guess I have to wonder, was it a tragedy? Well, obviously it was a tragedy, but was it a sick mercy that those people at least got to die happy. Like apparently it went so quickly that
it's up for interpretation, Jova.
But just to finish my point earlier, it's like I've said. It's like I've said. Like one of the main, and I will argue probably the more interesting themes of the game is what exactly is it like to live forever, what it's like to have an immortal life. And this game does such a fantastic job with its dreams, explaining how, yeah, it sounds cool at first, but when you actually try to apply this idea of immortality into practice, you start to realize, yeah, no, being immortal kind of sucks.
I think it also depends, obviously, on the setting. You know, this game makes sure to provide a set of different circumstances into why, living this long for people like Kaim feels a lot of times more of a pain. Like I said, if you ever read Neil Gaiman's The Sandman, there is an example there of someone who is technically cursed with immortality, but actually tries to always see the most positive out of it despite everything. And I think it's a good counterbalance to this.
Yeah, I will say, it does feel like sometimes the game does look at some of the positives of being an immortal.
I think the biggest thing that you also get is treasuring the moment, because those are the things that get memorized. Yes, some of them are painful, like, God, this one really was. But all other times are genuine moments that Kaim sure had forgotten, but, when they actually, resurface, they do actually feel important for him,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody, to the next part where we try to find out what we're supposed to go and do at this point. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.